I'd like to spend a few minutes today with you talking about the issue of social inclusion for international students here in Australia. Firstly, who is International Marketing? We're the economic development agency for the City of Brisbane, but also the surrounding local government areas. So our footprint is pretty much southeast Queensland, minus the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast. As the Economic Development Agency, clearly we have a priority upon dollars and jobs, and it goes without saying. We heard the Minister earlier today talk about the value of international education being Australia and Queensland's third largest export. Well, we ain't got no mines in Brisbane. It's Brisbane's largest export by a long shot. And so we've a program called Study Brisbane, which we've established in partnership with some peak industry bodies and education providers here in the city. I'd like to contend today, however, that in the marketing of international education offshore, there is far too much talk by government about the value that international education brings into Australia. I think there's too much emphasis about that, and I believe that we need to be focusing upon delivering a message about what the experience is for the student, and that is a message that can be delivered in partnership with peak bodies and of course across regional clusters. So for our part, we're now focusing within our program very much upon the experience of the international student here in Brisbane, and I'd like to share some of the information about that with you. Given the current federal government focus upon migration limits, I do think it's time for the sector to be taking the lead in marketing efforts offshore. So social inclusion in the context of today, gosh, it can mean lots of things to many people. I want to stress that the focus for my topic today is social inclusion for international students in the city. I guess we're working with our provider clients, our education provider clients, to try and enhance the student experience in Brisbane, but also to be able to provide some information about some real experiences that students are having. I'll get to some of our programs in a minute, but Ben, if you wouldn't mind just rolling this first video. This is something that we've just launched recently for our clients to use.
Across the river, but I'm on holidays, and today we play a summer roller coaster of endless weightlessness, and today we play. We'll never ever face stormy weather. We'll never ever desert December. We're gonna kick off our shoes and go dancing, feeling the sound of the toe swing on hammocks. Follow the road where it goes, time's a wasting. Not that we
Very heavy focus upon lifestyle. That's actually a video that was shot for our clients in the leisure tourism sector and our major events sector, but our Study Brisbane clients said, actually no, we need to be able to use that kind of collateral as well. It's not all about the lecture theatre. We want to be describing the experience for the student. Hence that piece has been put together. Now, we've run a survey, the first survey that's ever been done in Brizzy, to my knowledge, of the international students in the city. We ran that last year and had a sample base of 1,000 international students. And we wanted to tap into really what were their key motivators for enrolling to study here. And the two big reasons that we could see, apart from, of course, the quality of our fantastic institutions, were the weather and the lifestyle. And then what happened, just as we were about to launch a whole new process, was the floods that we experienced here in Brisbane. Brisbane Marketing was charged with a Back to Business campaign, which you'll see, I hope, even if you walk out of the hotel here today, on the side of buses, TV ads. It's running domestically across Australia on ad shell, bus stops, etc., etc. There's a small piece that I'd like to play here for you. Suffice to say, before we click the button, this is a campaign that had to be delivered with $0, and the media in Australia got behind this most amazingly. We thought we'd be lucky if we picked up $1 million worth of contra spend by media agencies and companies in Australia. The latest tally is over $8 million worth of free contribution from media agencies towards this campaign, just to help sell the message that Brisbane is open for business after the flood. So we might play that one. Thanks, Ben. Of course, we've been at pains to ensure that there is a study execution as part of this. So you'll see the word study appear in the TV ad, which at this point of the year is now screening at about 11 p.m, but nonetheless it's appearing on television across Australia. So I've already mentioned the region that we cover. Our brand proposition for Brisbane covers a variety of industry sectors, including the international education sector. And that is that Brisbane is Australia's New World City. And I guess reflecting upon the client of the situation from an education perspective, and by client I'm talking about the student, are we meeting clients' expectations by using this brand and by offering this brand to our client base as the education providers? Well, the survey that we ran last year actually came up with some fairly telling stats. And I wouldn't imagine this would be terribly different across Australia. Suffice to say that the international students that come here are having problems making friends. And it's not really that much of a difficulty to be able to extend a hand of friendship if you know how to do it. So there have been a couple of programs that we've launched over the last 2 or 3 years which have been focused upon trying to overcome this supposed barrier within the industry. One is we've launched a Brisbane International Student Ambassador program here in Brisbane, and I think I can see one of them sitting here. There's Matthew Ramsey from America who's joining us for the conference. The program is about encouraging volunteers from students who are from overseas, here on a valid student visa, studying in a member institution, to come on board and to join a group from primary source markets around the world. We have this year 29 student ambassadors from 25 primary markets. And the ambassadors are given heaps of opportunities to experience Brisbane, and what we ask of them is that they describe that experience online. And look, we do know that, of course, the majority of students who choose to enrol here do that on the basis of word of mouth. So we've created some channels, and including Facebooks and RenRens and Weibos and all sorts of different social networks, plus our own. And the student ambassadors now are, this year, more than ever, actively involved in describing their experiences. The other thing that we've done, a bit of a change and a bit of a twist to the program this year, was we've introduced 2 domestic students into the program as well. So we have this year Christine and Sam, who are Aussie students who have an understanding, if you like, an empathy for what it's like to be an international student studying overseas. And part of their role is to really just to help explain Brisbane and Australia to newly arrived international students. As it happens, Sam has picked up a scholarship to go and study in China. So he's now a domestic student ambassador who's studying in Shanghai, and this has opened up a whole new world of advocacy for what it's like to be a student coming down under. And as such, Sam's recently hooked up with Austrade and the